Welcome back, everyone, to another segment of the MCR. Mac and me, my name's TJ. And in this segment, I'd like to talk about someone that I'd be shocked if everyone, including Mac, hasn't heard of. Mac, do you know who Christopher Anthony Lunsford is?
The name sounds familiar, but I worked with a guy years ago whose last name was Lunsford. So,
well,
that's
not the guy. That's not the gentleman.
Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't.
Perhaps you know him as Oliver Anthony. You don't know who Oliver Anthony is?
No.
The guy who sung "Rich Men North of Richmond"?
Oh, I'm familiar. I'm familiar with the song, but I'm not.
Yeah.
As you know, as you often make the false claim that I hate country music.
Well, you know what? I think you've just proved it.
Okay, so he did this song "Rich Men North of Richmond." It hit #1 on Billboard, I believe, right?
Yeah, iTunes 100 hit #1, and his actual name is Christopher Anthony Lunsford. He, for music purposes or production, he uses the Oliver Anthony name, which was the name of his grandfather. Okay, and Oliver Anthony's YouTube channel has 152,000 subscribers. Radio WV, which helped him produce the song and get it out there and get it recorded. Radio WV's YouTube channel has 366 subscribers. The song "Richmond North of Richmond," the video has 44 million views.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. That what I've just shared is old news that most everyone knows. I mean, this guy's been out there for the last couple of weeks now. So unless you hate country music, you wouldn't have known who this guy was.
I see.
Anyways, but here's the new and latest interesting twist. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to agree with this guy, Edward Snowden. And I'm not a fan of Edward Snowden. He's the guy that got in trouble for leaking classified information about the FBI and CIA and whatnot. Edward Snowden says he wouldn't be surprised if the FBI has a case, a file, an intelligence file on Oliver Anthony, or Christopher Anthony Lunsford, aka Oliver Anthony. I think Edward Snowden could be right. What are your thoughts, Mac?
I would not certainly not be surprised. I mean, if you look at the history of the FBI, the investigations into Dr. King, they were spying on him, they were doing recordings. In some measure, I think they were making stuff up about him. Because that's how Hoover operated, and they're still operating like that. People think this corruption in the FBI is a new thing. It isn't. It's been corrupt since its inception.
Well,
so I would not be surprised at all if I wouldn't be surprised if it was a file on us.
I was debating on whether or not to go down that path. But you know what? It's like I'm sure they've got a list of bad people on social media sites with all sorts of files.
Well, this last time, a week ago when we were off, I flew, and unusually, I did not get searched on either way there. I didn't get searched in Atlanta. I didn't get searched in Detroit. I didn't get searched in Baltimore. But very often I do. I get pulled out of line and get searched. And I don't know what looks suspicious to me.
I would just like to read a short tweet Snowden put out there. Okay. Snowden tweets, after topping the iTunes list, and tweeting like this: the FBI will be making place. He's referencing to, because, Oliver Anthony put out a tweet, basically, a little bio about himself and whatnot. And that's how you found out that what his real name was, really. But so, as I digress, uh, Snowden says the FBI will be making space for him on another kind of list too. Think I'm kidding? The FBI had a file on John Denver for attending one anti-war protest. It was later revealed, Gateway Pundit reports, upon the death of John Denver, the FBI did in fact have a 33-page file on John Denver. So,
which war was he opposed to?
Well, I'm going to guess the Vietnam War because that would put it during his time frame.
Yeah. But so what, you can't be against the war? That is not covered in the First Amendment?
Well, the Vietnam War was all about fighting communism,
Well, yeah.
I listen to Dan Bongino a lot, and Dan Bongino corresponds with an ex-FBI agent by the name of Kyle Seraphin. And Kyle Seraphin says that what the FBI will do is they don't need criminal activity to open and the word escapes me, doggone it, kind of a intelligence gathering file on anyone. I mean, okay, the parents that were being targeted for protesting at school boards. Kyle Seraphin knows that some of those parents had intelligence files on them that are still open, and because it's an intelligence file, it goes on in, as the saying goes, in perpetuity.
Well, that gives them their every time they get hauled out in front of Congress, they end up saying, well, we can't comment on an open investigation. That's their get out of jail free card for everything, because they've opened an investigation, as you said, in perpetuity.
Yeah, and Christopher Wray does drop that line a lot. So, like I said, we're a couple weeks behind on Oliver Anthony's major hit, but then when I saw this over the weekend, that Gateway Pundit article about Snowden suspecting that there's a file on this guy, I thought, well, here we go, and honestly, I would lay a week's pay that there is one,
I wouldn't bet against it. That's
yeah.
for sure.
Just kind of in closing on this topic, so as to be, like full disclosure, Oliver Anthony doesn't like any politician, by the way. He said what he sang about includes Republicans as much as Democrats. He also made the comment he didn't like conservative media using him as a spokesperson for conservative causes. And that worried me a little bit, because I'm thinking, okay, where is your head? You know what I mean?
Well, I think he's just maybe, and you know what? I'll be honest, I haven't heard the song. I'm not gonna, because as you claim, I hate country music, false claim. But maybe I'll listen to it after we're done recording today and see what it's about. But you know what? We have a right in this country to speak out against our government.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he's doing. I looked at a map because I was kind of curious, and Washington, D.C. is about 100 miles, almost directly north of Richmond.
Right.
So the Richmond, north of Richmond, clearly are the politicians in Washington, D.C. And I would venture to say 95% of the people who are watching this video of ours has already heard this song. So I don't want to necessarily do the lyrics or anything, but yeah, he pretty much takes a swipe at everybody as far as hardships in life, we'll say.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to throw out there Snowden's thoughts, and I think Snowden's right. And And it's a crying shame that's even discussed as a possibility, let alone probably true. It just sucks. I don't know how else to phrase that. But that's it for my thoughts. Any final thoughts there, Mac?
No, I pretty well covered it, I think.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. And be careful what you comment, because who knows? They might do a file on you. So anyways, see you on the next segment. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.